Hello, my fellow Flingle Floodles. My name is Noodles, and we are back on Raging Loop. We're just about to go upstairs, and we stopped for a moment, so let's find out what's happening. I heard some rustling. Was it possible they'd gotten into that intimate in just a few minutes? Was I about to ruin the mood? Well, food was important too. I said, to get their attention, I slowly went up, making sure I was loud enough for them to hear me coming. It's lunchtime. Oh, yes, Inagakun? Oh, hello. The room was full of stuff. It was a huge mess. You looking for something? No luck, huh? Yes, I was looking for a new apron in the attic, but we couldn't find it there, so we were checking other places too. So that was it. Did you see? Huh? Could you not tell anyone about this? Well, I did come up carefully, but it's not like I saw anything I shouldn't have. Were you going at it? What are you saying? I'm kidding. I know you wouldn't do something like that at a time like this. Of course we wouldn't. Yeah. Really now? I was still kind of worried. Anyway, why not take a break and get some food? They didn't argue as we prepared to go back. There was a loud noise from downstairs. What? Yes, Nagakun and I looked at each other and then we ran into the room without saying a word. We were met with a strange scene. I instantly realised what had happened and who was responsible. Kinosuke, she was wearing a furious expression, his shoulders shaking. There was a shattered plate of rice gruel at his feet. The contents were still steaming. He was facing Kaori Aribe-san, who was standing completely still. Did he throw his food to the floor? Was it that bad? No way. This was clearly something way bigger than that. Well, what's gotten into you? Chemi and the others didn't seem to understand either. They shifted uneasily. I know. What? Wolfsbane. The plant. There's aconite in the food. What? Meiko-chan, did you eat any? Not yet. What about the rest of you? Hold on, I'm so lost, is that true? Look at these leaves. They shine, the other side isn't white, and the tip is pointy. They smell different too. This isn't mudwort or windflower. You're right, it's wolfsbane. You use wild plants, Mum? Yes. That was close, what a mistake. Someone almost got poisoned. She wants to kill us! What? Huh? Wait, it was just a mistake, that's it, don't be so cruel. Haru-chan stopped talking when she realised that the suspect was acting strange. Kaori-san was staring right at Kinosuke, not moving an inch and smiling. She was completely glaring him down. Yes. That response was so delayed we had no idea what it was for. When Kinosuke backed away a bit, his expression shifted from rage to fear. Mom? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is fine. I'm not actually going to use this as a thumbnail because this is a massive spoiler. But this is fine. You shall die. As she stood there, wailing madly, she brandished a knife. She was hardly moving quickly. But the sight of the blade had stunted our reflexes. I've seen some bizarre corpses here. I bore witness to what pure malice could do. But still living, blatant malevolence, killing intent, was intense enough to paralyse everyone present. I barely registered the scene unfolding before me. Staggering a bit, the woman passed the counter. The sharp knife was still green with something, likely shavings of aconite. Or aconite, I don't know, is it aconite, is it aconite? I can't remember. Whatever. She raised her voice and aimed her poisoned weapon at the nearest target, Kinosuke-san. Tackling her probably isn't the best thing to do. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If it stabs me, let it go. That one. We'll find a nearby weapon, see what that does. I had no idea why my body began to move. I grabbed the nearest chair without even thinking about it. It was old, wooden and heavy. Picking up made me lose my balance for a bit. I pointed its legs at the would-be murderer and dashed forward as fast as I could. A crash, a cry of pain, a scream. Amidst the cacophony, I attempted to keep Kaori-san pinned down. I pressed the edge of the chair against her knife arm. She cried out in pain and the blade clattered to the floor. Jimmy then quickly kicked it away. Oh, I did it. I'm well good. In hindsight, it happened in a mere matter of seconds. In fact, tying her up was way harder, what with her foaming at the mouth and struggling. In the end, we bound her limbs and gagged her to silence the bloodthirsty screams. With that done, we had no choice but to face reality. I know I'm probably not the best person to ask, but what do you even do about this? Six of us stood in the mist right outside the dining hall. Kaori-san was locked inside. Bah. She's also become a Yomi Bito. No, that can't be. She's just not feeling well. I guess she was really pushing herself. Of course she was. Do you have any idea how important Yoshitsugu was to her? He was foolish, short-tempered, and annoying, but... No, that's exactly why she treasured him so much. She often said that he was as reckless as his father. I'll take responsibility and calm her down myself. Please forgive her for this. We should decide this at the feast. Please wait, this is a personal outburst that has nothing to do with the feast. Keep her out of it. How can you be so certain? She might have succumbed to the corruption. Masato-san? Everything in the mist has to be decided by the feasts. Breaking that law risks falling human to the corruption. That's true. Very well, let's go. No, Yasunaga-kun should be killed. Oh, and let that happen. Fuseshi-san, please look after her. Not gonna lock me up again? No one replied. Apparently it didn't matter anymore. Chemi-chan. She was making the same face she did whenever she talked about God. I knew this would happen. Strangely enough, there was emotion in her eyes. I could see 90% resignation and 10% fear. Somehow I know exactly what percentage people are feeling. Watching me until she finally passed out of sight, she followed the others towards the hall. My god, there's like so few of them. Where's the sake? Can't we just skip that part? The cleansing is important. Here you go, Nasato-san, Sama. Thank you. Oh, that hits the spot. You too, Chi-chan. Yasu-kun? You just take a lick. About Oni-chan? Uematsu-sama can't be here anymore. I'll look after this girl. What's the point? Chieni, get a grip. Then let's begin. I vote to hang Madame Uribe. For what reason? She's dangerous. In that case, I'll vote for Rikaku Uematsu-san for the same reasons. What about the rest? This is a temporary vote for now. Say what you think. I think we should hang both. Doesn't really matter what order. I can't think straight right now. We should hang Rikaku Uematsu. We can at least talk to Kaori-san, but Rikaku Uematsu is a mad beast. What about you, child? They're eating Oni-chan? What's that supposed to mean? Listen, if you want to protect Rikaku-san, then vote to hang Kaori Uribe. She won't understand. 3 didn't vote and 3 who did are in favour of hanging Uematsu-san. It's decided. This is absurd. This is how you repay her for moving here and working so hard on our behalf? Hear me out, will you? My mom is just a bit out of it right now. You may still be able to reason with her. However, Uematsu-san is basically a mindless animal. She doesn't even have the capacity to vote on things. Unlike mom, she's a Yomibito now. Even if we hang my mom today, what will we do tomorrow? Do you have a way of fixing Uematsu-san? Looks like it's decided. How simplistic. I know you're biased because Madame Uribe is a relative, but you don't see the big picture. What? Think about it. Our top priority is to kill the wolves. And that comes before all else. Yomibito aren't wolves, are they? That basically proves that Rikaku-san isn't a wolf. Huh? What do you mean? Remember the legend? The wolves are Yomotsu Okami, beings already corrupted by Yomi. Do you really believe they can become Yomibito as well? Yamawaki-san, what's your opinion? That might be true. Here's a hypothesis. Powerful corruption slaughters like it did those journalists and your brother. However, weaker levels of corruption cause madness. Mad guardians are wolves, while mad humans are Yomibito. That means that the corruption's punishment can only be slaughter for wolves, either slaughter or Yomibito transformation or for humans. That's just a convenient delusion. Indeed, I have no way to prove it, but I can make it seem more plausible. If wolves could go mad due to the corruption, would they even look like Rikaku-san does? These are beasts disguised as humans. Would they truly look like that if they'd gone mad? I think the beasts would show their true selves, their bestial fury even, not their bestial furry. Is that what happened to Rikaku-san? No. That might be true. Maybe we should hang Kaori-san first. Taiba. You're basing your decisions on fairy tales. We've had actual deaths here. This is ridiculous. I'm the one who's ridiculous? To accept the fear of the corruption means to accept the legends. See, I've accepted it. Fearing the corruption while disregarding the legends is what's truly ridiculous, don't you think? Chieni. I'm afraid of God. I'm afraid of this God who toys with us as we dance on his palm. What are you saying? Regardless of... No, because of that. We need to fight back against our fears. For that we need weapons. Haruaki-san. Huh? Why him? I vote for you, Yasu-kun. What? What, Chieni? I'm not sure I understand you, Serizawa. Masato-san. Start the proper vote. There's no point in just talking. Huh? But... This was going to happen sooner or later, and if she's truly casting her vote, it's only fair for us to cast ours. But whether I can forgive you or not is another story, Chieni. I know. No objections? Then let's begin the vote. Here's what I think. Masato-san is half right. We're supposed to search for wolves here. But I'm completely against relying on the legends for evidence. Mochi, the old wolf guy, and Takumi Nichan all died at the hands of people. That's why we should look back over what's happened so far, instead of the legends. So how about this? First, who aside from me understood the purpose of the feast? Masato-san said it himself, Mako-chan is too young to understand, and Haru-chan... Honestly, I think she'd oppose Masato-san and side with Yasu-kun regardless of the situation. Taiba-chan would look to the legends, obviously. She's the biggest believer here. What about Yasu-kun, though? I know it's been hard for him, and with his mum about to be hanged, I can understand why he'd panic. But then why push for Rikako-san's hanging? It's easy for us Yasumizu people to justify hanging the village heads, but you should understand what comes first. Death of the damned Yomibito is the mandate. We should be looking for the immediate threat at hand, the wolves, before worrying about those words. The Yasu-kun I know would keep a cool head even in a crisis. Chieni, I understand what you're saying. I just can't forgive him. Whenever you talk, it always makes a mess of things. Takumi ni Yoshitsugu and Mochi are dead because of you. And now you want to take my mother? I'm sick of you. Nichan, what's wrong? Calm down. So yeah, I forgot about the purpose of the feast. It was just an act of petty revenge. I used Haru-chan for that. Like you said, that's all there is to me. I'm a petty, pretty boring person. You still not satisfied? Yeah, this is totally out of character for you. Yasu-kun, I'm probably just looking too deeply into it, but... When Kari-san said the food, only you and Haru-chan were absent. If the others had all been poisoned as planned, you'd be the only survivors. Haruaki-san notwithstanding. If you're a wolf, that'd be pretty good for you, right? Are you suggesting I convinced Mum to poison everyone? That'd be just the worst. She probably got the wolves bane early in the morning. She was too busy otherwise, and it did look like she woke up early. By that point, she was already resolved to kill us. It's easy to imagine that someone had given her the idea the previous night. What? But we can't contact anyone tonight. There are 2 wolves. What? For the sake of her only living son, Kari-san was ready to kill everyone, even if it meant being subject to the corruption. But I'm human. If you only had the wolves and a lone human at the end, votes would no longer matter. Haru-chan wouldn't be able to do anything. No way. Nichan. Yasu-kun. That's impossible. I mean, if Mom were a wolf, Yoshitsugu wouldn't have died. She could have killed me to spare him, though. You think I convinced her to do that? She'd never listen. She loved him way more than me. Chieni, this is cruel. There's no way she'd say anything like that to his mom. I'm not saying the wolves killed Yoshi-kun. He might have just been out at night and killed by the corruption. Also, even if she wasn't a wolf, she'd help her son even if it meant falling victim to the corruption. It sounds like you're saying whatever you can to make Nichan into a bad guy. What's wrong with you, Chieni? You always used to protect us. Was it him? Did Fuseishi-san tell you to say that? Did he make you change? No, he didn't. I'm just following his example and thinking for myself. Things I don't want to be true could actually be true. I can't look away from them. And so you decide to vote against me and ruin our friendship. I mean... Listen to yourself. The Yasukin I knew would never try to guilt me into submission like that. If you ask me, you're the one who changed. So who will vote for who? So who will you vote for? I need to take responsibility for what I said. I suspected Yasukun, I'm sticking to that. One vote for Yasunaga Oribe. You messed up the order, but in terms of seating order, Taiban is first. How will you vote? I will vote for Kaori-san. I don't think Urimetsu-sama is a wolf. What about you, Nasato-san? So now you're being respectful. My answer doesn't change. In fact, Serizawa's words made me all more certain. Yasunaga Oribe, in all honesty, your current attitude makes it hard to believe you are a wolf. But it's likely your mother is. One vote for Carrie Aribe. What about you, Yasunaga Aribe? I'm still voting for Rikaku Umetsu-san. I'm voting for Rikaku Umetsu too. The child? Can be ignored. Wait, Mako-chan, think. Your vote might decide whether the humans win or lose. Jin, you got that far? You'll trick a child into to take her vote? If that's what it takes, I'll do it, Mako-chan. You don't want Rikako-san to be gone, right? No. Then... It's pointless. Even if she votes for me, it'll just be a three-way tie. I choose who I don't need? Yes. Then... I'll go with the lady. She was scary. You mean the woman from the dining hall? Mm-hmm. It's decided then. No. This has to be a sick joke. Mom would die because of something like this. A vote is a vote. Ni-chan. It's over. I heard muffled screams and sobs from the dining hall behind me. Gagged and tired, Carrie Aribe was still wailing. She couldn't move properly and had a pole fixed to her shoulders, but was still worried enough to check every now and then. The lack of change helped calm my nerves, but at the same time I resented myself a bit for it. Quite a bit of time had passed since the feast had begun. What kind of decision would they make? The daily wolf lynching, hanging, had failed every single time so far. Considering the number of days remaining, how many people were left, if they messed up today, the humans would lose all hope of surviving. If either Kaori Aribe or Rikako Umetsu ended up chosen, there would just be no chance anymore. Once I saw people leaving the hall, my mouth moved on its own. It's done then. Their eyes were steady. They walked in my direction. Not to me though, but to the dining hall. You chose Kaori-san? I asked anyway. I was speaking to the last representative of sanity in this place, Kiyonosuke Nasato. Move. We didn't even converse. His tone and look in his eyes were different from usual. His usual arrogant pride was gone, and in its place stood a deadly determination. Yes, Naga-kun. I lost. Harry-chan. I was against it. Oba-san. It's the will of Shinai-sama. Jimmy. Haruaki-san, take the girl. Meiko was at the rear of the group. Somewhat hesitantly, she walked up to me. I moved aside to let them pass. They all entered the dining hall and dragged out the victim. The ones holding the ropes and doing the dragging were Kiyonosuke Nasato and Chiemi Serizawa. Following behind was Tei Yamawaka, prodding her onward with a bamboo broom. Stop. As his mother cried out in pain, Yasunaga Aribe followed the group, hand in hand with Haru Makishima. Stop them. Haru Makishima was bawling. Yasunaga Aribe was shaking, not even trying to hide his sobs. His face was warped in anguish. Someone. As the group faded away, the gag fell out and the victim's voice grew loud. Not a scrape of reason remained, only raw terror. Oh god, she's just laughing now. Or perhaps madness. Oh, please. Someone. Beg for her life. However, I didn't hear any pleas to the very end, and I painfully realised I wasn't participating in the feast. I wasn't part of this life selection game bound by the otherworldly rules. Don't look. I turned Meiko away, hugged her, and covered her ears. Because of that, I couldn't cover my own. Parent-like dedication, what a weird idea. Anyway, as the group disappeared into the mist, I somehow felt as though the screams, or laughs, grew even clearer. I was subjected to the illusion right until the very end. During the final moments, the mother called out her son's name. It was the name of the elder son, and he responded by calling for his mother. But at the very last moment, I felt like the victim shouted out a different name. There was a strange sound, followed by silence. Meiko. Meiko's body was surprisingly warm. In response, she just nodded. Let's escape from this place tomorrow. She nodded again. Give up on Rikako Umetsu-sama. Meiko started crying. I let her go, took her by the hand and led her to the dorm. There I took all the remaining food I had. Then I escorted her back to her place. Lock up. I'll come pick you up tomorrow morning. Still crying, she nodded. Eat this, all of it, okay? I gave her some food and closed the door. Once I turned around, I saw them. Today's feast is over. There wasn't a hint of emotion in his voice. I see. As one who didn't participate in the feast, I was in no position to criticise or support them. They just turned around and returned to their places, leaving no indicator whether they'd actually heard me. 3 of them were headed to the same direction. I didn't feel like joining them, instead casting a glare at their backs as they walked. My powerlessness was killing me. Under the assumption I would die tomorrow, I decided I would go through the mist down the Saranaga, a strict taboo here. What kind of death would that get me? Would I be injured? Wander into some other world? Something else entirely? Or perhaps I'd be eaten by a monster. I still had that incomprehensible memory, but it was enough to make me suspect there was likely a scenario. Normally people didn't remember dying. The unknown was scary, but journeying into the unknown meant conquering that fear. So you could say there were some perks to remembering that death. But if it was guaranteed that I would die like that, I wasn't really keen on the idea. That hurt like hell, not to mention how terrifying the experience was. I think of a better way to die. One that won't hurt so much. Or at least would be worth the pain. Like if it led to the survival of a young child. Anyway, I'd wager my life. All that remained was finding supporters. I closed my eyes and took a few deep breaths. I threw a Yakuza kick into the wall. And then I did a low kick with the other leg. The 7 treasures have finally been lost. To the elements, a sacred orb reduced to rust. In the jungle of the decadent void... What the fuck is he on about? The Buddha's corpse shouts out. As I sang the Buddha's Ash Rock. Is that actually a thing? I guess... I kind of feel like it is a thing. I think I've heard of it before. I don't know if that's true or not. I attacked the wall with my ass, which prompted a response from the other side. Shut up. I heard Chiemi's angry voice through the front door. You sound like you enjoyed it. No one would know how to react to that. The walls here were thin, apparently. Anyway, let's escape tomorrow. This is your idea of a conversation? If you can still talk like that, you're perfectly sane. Escape it is. Let's say bye-bye to the nest for the crazy. Listen, Haruaki-san. I'm serious. She stood outside my door. She fell silent. It was only about 8. Still a safe time. I walked up to the door and unlocked it. Damn, you look awful. Is it that bad? Nah, just joking. What's with the jokes? You my boyfriend now or something? You put on a tough face. But it's a mask hiding some supernatural suffering, isn't it? Come on, talk to me. Well, if you don't want to, take a seat. Pardon the intrusion. Alone in an empty room, we sat cross-legged and looked at each other. Tell me what happened during the feast today. How was your day? Who are the wolves? I don't know. Hell, I don't even care anymore. The situation was hopeless. She felt the same way. So far, there wasn't a single lynching with a good reason behind it, and it didn't feel like they'd gotten lucky and killed a wolf. If only that scrawny rich guy were a wolf, it'd be so easy to hate him. Takumi-san said he's clean, so that's not likely. I know. But still. Assuming Yasunaga-kun was actually a wolf, I really doubted he was cold-hearted enough to keep up the act of a human while seeing off his mother to her death. Like Chiemi had pointed out, it was best to assume Kaori-san had only done what she did for her son. If everyone died and the only one was left, he'd be the victor regardless if he was human or a wolf, probably. Whatever the case, it was important to know that it was wrong to guess at whether Yasunaga-kun was a wolf based on this alone. Kaori Aribe was in a messed up mental place that led her to plot the deaths of herself and everyone else just to save her son. It was simply the immense power of motherly love at work. I messed it up by sending Haru-chan to the 2nd floor. Kaori-san probably resented me for that. Not to mention, I was the one who pinned her down. Being the target of a dead person's enmity was a rare experience, and in my opinion it was uncomfortable. Turns out I couldn't follow your example. My example? Yeah, I tried to think and did all that stuff, but well... Was I a bad influence on her? Well, carefully deliberating your actions was never a bad thing, obviously. Also, it's worth noting she pointed out that Yasunaga-kun kept trying to guilt-trip her wasn't like him. Her own intuition was important too. Besides him, there was Tai-san who believed nothing but the superstitions, Haru-chan who always agreed with Yasunaga-kun, and Meiko, the one who sealed Kaori-san's fate. Everyone is suspicious. Yeah, that's why I don't care who it is anymore. Chiemi hung her head. I decided to help Meiko-chan. How, by running away with her? I'm telling you, it's pointless. It's better than just sitting around waiting for death, isn't it? And if she turns out to be a wolf, you'd be down to 1. Lucky day, huh? Would it be? I don't know anymore. I killed someone. Sorry, what? She said it casually, but I could tell it was hard for her to say. It's not your fault. I responded equally casually. I felt like breaking the illusion would be too much to handle. Wow, it's like you don't care at all. But you were against it, weren't you? Not stopping the murder makes me your partner in crime, doesn't it? I'm the same in that regard. Oh, right. Also, the law would understand that you made the wrong decisions because of the circumstances. Law, huh? Well, being punished under a proper rule of law is infinitely better than being punished by some weird laws of some mountain. Or what? Do you want to die a supernatural death? No dice, huh? Yeah. Man, this was complicated. Is it God's fault? Half of it, yeah. But you can't explain the other half. Right. Then talk about God at least. How do I put this? God is misfortune. Huh? Well, I don't mean that literally. It's just that it's because of God that we can't attain happiness. Is God visible? Yeah, we've all seen it, but its true form might be invisible. Let me ask about the visible part. Is it human? Though slowly and hesitantly, she gave me a light nod. Is it someone from Yasumizu? Silence, neither yes or no. Then is it someone from Kamafujiyoshi? She kept her silence. Her shoulders were shaking a bit. Then... No, it's not human. You can deal with humans, but God is beyond them. Shit, I knew it would go like this. Calm down and explain, otherwise we'll both be killed. Fine, I just want this nightmare to be over already. Hey, Haruaki-san, kill me. If it's at your hands, I think I can really die. What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself. I'm not corrupted. I'm not insane, I'm not. It's Fujiyoshi that's crazy. It's God that's crazy. Is God some state of being? I just kind of blurred out something without thinking. Chiomi was clearly in a state of panic. This despair was one cause, but someone panicked like this can't explain themselves properly. Also, I didn't feel like this was simply some spiritual being she could see. She could perceive God as a sensation of sorts, and the fact others couldn't caused her to panic. Explaining the sense like that wasn't easy, and trying to explain it in detail was also a reminder of how much it scared her. I had to try and understand what she was sensing and find a better word for it than God. That was what I thought to myself after saying those words, but why did she suddenly go quiet? She was raising her head and her eyes were wide, staring right at me. She completely stopped voicing her pain. Did I hit the nail on the head? As I considered that possibility, I felt cold, damp breath from behind me. Sorry, what? She wasn't staring at me, she was staring at something behind me. I turned around, following the direction of... I'm sorry, what the fuck's happening here? How long had the front door been open? Had I forgotten to lock the door? Oh, hey. How are you? Nice to meet you. This is my dorm room. I hope that you're okay. How long had that thing been there? There was a person outside. Was it even human? Through the darkness I could see that it definitely had a humanoid silhouette. But it was definitely abnormal. His body was covered in bandages. No, sutras? It was a smallish boy, or girl, covered in marked cloth. And again, was it even human? I asked the same question again, unable to even voice the words. I couldn't move a finger, or rather, I didn't because I had no idea what would happen if I did. As the tension began to overwhelm me, I saw its lips move. Great! The wolves cometh. To the smell of Yomi. Cleanse, shelter, and dream. Daughter of Fujiyoshi. Sorry, what the fuck are you talking about? A howl! A pleasant howl. I heard something fall. Turning back around, I realised it was Chiomi. Chiomi? Still confused, I rushed over and caught her. It was a momentary loss of consciousness. She hadn't fainted, she just seemed to be drifting at the border of reality. Hey, wake up. Hi. Why am I here? What was that thing? What? Weird, I'm so sleepy. Sorry, I'm going back. Chiomi stood up, her eyes were utterly devoid of life. She headed to the door. It was closed and there was no one there. I set that matter aside for now. Chiomi was way more important. What the fuckity fuck? I had to stop her. That was why I'll take you out of here. Wrap my arms around her. If you want to throw away your life, give it to me. Tomorrow morning, I'll take you and Mako and leave this place. You and Mako? Not just you? That was her first response in a while. Well, you entrusted her to me. I'll honor that trust you showed me until the end. Man of integrity, huh? You noticed? Well, there's also the fact that I'm not just too keen on letting a child die. You've dropped the tough guy act, Haruaki-san. Well, so when did you drop the honorific? You don't like it? I don't mind, it's just... Shouldn't there be a transition point for these types of things? Go out with me. Sure. So let's get out of here. Okay. Just so you know, I'm only saying that because I don't mind dying with you. Sorry, but Mako-chan's barely a blip on my radar. That's not very responsible, is it? Chiemi-san is a girl with many brain problems, so she prefers to rely on people older than her. Sorry, what? Wait, hang on, wait. Sorry, what the fuck was that you just said? Chiemi has many brain problems. Leave it to me. Also, we're taking anyone who wishes to join us. What? I'm not getting some special treatment here? You are. Did she say she definitely said her own name, right? Am I going insane? You are. The others have a choice, but now we're dating. I'm taking you whether you like it or not. Not sure I'm happy about that one. Did you know I'm actually not a very popular guy? Haruaki-san. Thanks. Her teary voice compelled me to embrace her. If I'm killed by the wolves tonight... Don't say that. I don't care what. Take a part of me outside. Don't worry. I'm scared. I'm right here. I'm here for you. It hurt to say baseless things. Even so, I kept on saying whatever I could to make her feel better. This went on for only 10 or so minutes, though. Even if the wolves didn't pay us a visit, we'd have to respect the rules of living here. We awkwardly exchanged some parting words, and I saw her off as she returned to her room, her parting ways with a frail smile on her damp face. Tomorrow. Everything would be decided tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow, we're all dead tomorrow. I'm kind of like wanting to, because I think we're going to get to like an ending here. Another morning. Aside from being really hungry, I woke up the same as always. I hadn't died. Which is good. The only real difference this morning was that I could go outside as I pleased. It was still misty out and I couldn't see much beyond the dawn. A settlement isolated in mist, a space cut away from the world. Could we really leave this place? We could. It had to be physically possible. I mean, I've already tried, so I think it's not, but whatever. The idea that we couldn't was just speculation. No matter how much this place defied reality. What was that thing? Why had Chiemi collapsed? How sane were we? Was this even really happening? Human senses and memories often lied to us, though just dismissing anything that didn't make sense as an illusion wasn't a good idea. That thing had actually visited us. Its appearance was strange, but I had little proof that it was something supernatural. Thus, that had to be human. As for the reason Chiemi collapsed, there are quite a few possibilities. Unless it was a trick she'd schemed with that thing beforehand. That being had to have been too much for her to handle emotionally. What did the thing say again? The walls cometh for the smell of Yomi, cleanse, shelter and dream, daughter of Fujiyoshi, was it? It basically seemed like a fancy way of saying get back to your room and sleep. So it was a warning from those who made the rules. Then, was that something on the mountain, Great Lord Shinai's side? No, to be honest. I'd say it was more like something from the other side. I mean, it kind of fit my image of Yomi Bito. It wore sutras in place of clothing, and the cloth over its face reminded me of a funeral shroud. The words corruption seemed particularly fitting, and a really sinister aura to me anyway. Though, that was strange. Great Lord Shinai was the enemy of the forces from Yomi. Yomi Bito wouldn't act as his messengers. This contradiction was quite eerie, an alluring unknown. But that didn't matter now. My goal was to let Chiemi and any supporters we had gathered escape, whatever. I returned to the room, made my futon and started searching again. The futon was the only thing in the closet. There was nothing I could use as a weapon. I gave up, left the room, and went to Chiemi's. If the worst had come to pass, I had to fulfill a last request. The door was locked. I knew it. So the wolf was... I knocked. She came out after just a few seconds. Apparently she was already ready to go. I want a weapon. I figured. She gave me a pretty large knife with a sheath. Probably used for hunting. Got anything for yourself? I lost my kitchen knife, so you'll have to protect me, alright? Sure. I had zero confidence in pulling it off, but sometimes bravado was important to hold on to. We went to Harry-chan's room. It wasn't locked. The room was no bigger than the others, but it was a huge mess. But it didn't look like there was a corpse present. She'd either already woken up and went outside without locking the door, or her corpse was somewhere outside like Yoshitsugu-kun. I'd gained a habit of expecting the worst. What about Yasunaga-kun? The same. Let's check on Mako. Today's mist was denser than usual. Just extending my arm was enough to make my hand hazy and indistinct. I kept on walking, knife in my right hand and Chiemi's hand in my left. The settlement was way too quiet. We headed for the village plaza. I almost tripped a few times on the field path, but Chiemi kept me on my feet with just a few warnings. I could keep going as long as she was with me. We arrived at the plaza. There was no one there. Basically, there was no need to use the dining hall as the go-to gathering spot anymore. We passed Rikaku Umetsu's house. It didn't look unlocked, but I couldn't hear any indications of movement from inside. Was she asleep? Or did something happen to her? Whatever the case, I had no choice but to ignore her. It was here, right? Yeah. Mako's place was open? Thankfully, all I found inside was just a messy futon. It was the same as Harry-chan's room, but now that it happened with 3 people, it was safe to assume something wasn't right. Chiemi, sorry, but you can have this back. Huh? I gave her the knife and grabbed a stick lying against the house. What's wrong? What's wrong? I need a weapon I can actually use. That aside, where do we go next? The hall, right? As it turned out, I was exactly where the other inhabitants were. With the exception of one, anyway. You're late, or maybe we're early. Haru Makishima. She was in her usual agitated state. Tai Yamawaki. She was silently chanting something to herself. Meiko. Haru-chan had her hands on her shoulders, but she still looked anxious. And finally... Good morning, Chieni. And Haruaki Fuseishi-san. Yasunaga Aribe. His face was grim. Those were all the people here, meaning that... So they finally got Nosato-san, huh? A simple process of elimination was enough to know who was gone. Anyway, it was time for the first battle. Meiko, come here. She tried to walk to us. No. But Haru Makishima stopped her. It was time. I raised my stick and... Huh? So you finally reveal your true colours, Fuseishi-san. Yasunaga Aribe stood in my way. He had a menacing looking grass sickle in his right hand. He readied it for a swing at me. You're the cause of all the misery here. It's the end, so I knew it would come down to pure strength. No way, huh? What? You were tricked. He's the one who caused all this. Not letting him join the feast was a mistake. If we'd hanged him, Mom Yoshitsugu and everyone else would still be alive. Wait, that's... We'll hang him today. That will end everything. Yasunaga-kun, you shouldn't try to advance the situation based on a story no one knows. What about you? Why did you try to attack? Oh, good point. I'll tell you. I want to take back the hostage. But that's... Well, before that, let me just help Chiemi-chan understand. Look how confused she is. Huh? What? They didn't say another word. Chiemi and Meiko were the only ones who seemed confused at all. Basically, the others are prepared for this. Ignoring who's a wolf here, there's 2 important things you've got to keep in mind. First, yesterday I told Meiko that I wanted to escape the settlement with her. It's best to assume everyone heard that. Escaping the village is taboo, I know that. The question is whether letting someone escape makes you a target of the corruption. That was why you secured Meiko first thing in the morning, and I can totally understand that. The other thing is that Chiemi and Yasunaga-kun ended up on opposing sides yesterday. Owing to that, today's feast will be a one-on-one between them. Since Haru-chan would almost always take Yasunaga-kun's side, he'd have an advantage. But with Taya-san and Meiko as swinging votes, his victory wasn't guaranteed. That's why he decided that reconciling with Chiemi and going after the only outsider here was the safest way, right? You're wrong. I'm not. That's why you took Meiko as a hostage. You want me silenced. No, I just thought you'd take her as a hostage and ask us to do horrible things. What would I gain from that? I'm not part of the feast. You agreed to that yourself, didn't you? That was a mistake. If it's not you, then who else could be the cause of everything here? Haru-chan and I lost family. Taiba lost Kakumi-san. We've all lost people important to us. And who didn't lose anything? Only you, Haruaki Fuseishi-san. Oh. So that was his story, huh? Sorry, Yasunaga-kun. But you're a bad storyteller. You seem to have a habit of putting up a wall of well-spoken words when lying or putting on an act. Please stop messing around. Oh, but I'm not. Yasunaga-kun, you're trying way too hard to manipulate people using their emotions. You also underestimate Chiemi by thinking you can just use that as a smokescreen for the holes in your story. Well, from an emotional standpoint, blaming me for everything is definitely the easiest way. But on the other hand, you're selling yourself short. You're calm, cool, collected. The type of guy who argues against adult absurdity with facts and logic. Please stop this pointless analysis. Well, that's something for the villagers to decide, not me. They're the ones who've watched you for years. Of course, I understand you went through something difficult enough to change you. And let me ask you this. Are you blaming everything on the outsider because you've lost your own emotions? Or are you actually acting rationally to make sure you hang me and waste today's feast so you can tip the scales in your favour? As in, are you someone who'd benefit from wasting today's lynching? What do you think, Chiemi? She gasped and looked at Yasunaga Aribe. There was suspicion in her eyes, not trust. You could have just said that I was a wolf. Yet you didn't. You said I'm the cause of all this. Because you're a wolf yourself. You hate lying, don't you? You know when the chips are down, you have to commit to the lie. Chieni, you're gonna believe him? Making an emotional appeal to the face of cold logic is bad moves here. You need to fight logic with logic until the end. Shut up. What do you know? You just wasted time, not doing anything because you couldn't. He had a point there. I did feel like shit about that. I should have joined the feast from the get-go. If I had, I wouldn't have wasted my time on pointless arguments and autopsies. However, you know, right here, there's a guy who can think for himself, but just played along with some dumb superstition, letting both his brother and mother die. As an adult, I'm really mad at him, Yasunaga-kun. Once again, I said that. Yasunaga Aribe hung his head and fell silent. 10 seconds of silence were enough for everyone to realise he'd lost the argument. However, the expression on his face was abnormally calm. True, I really am a wolf. He spoke as if it wasn't a big deal, but you are misunderstanding a few things. That just made it seem even more abnormal. We've already won. He tossed away the grass sickle. His voice wasn't nearly as passionate as before. It was cold and rational. He demonstrated confidence rooted in sound logic, but I couldn't understand what he meant. Other wolf, please reveal yourself. What was the point of that? Are you sure, Yasu-kun? Yes, that's enough. I'm the other wolf. I actually got that one right, okay. I got one of the two right. I couldn't make sense of this. Had he decided to graciously concede by selling out his partner now that he'd been cornered? No, he said he'd already won. Even if there were 2 wolves, there were 4 of us. They'd lose in votes. My answer came from a completely unexpected direction. Nichan, you and Taiban really are the wolves. A shout of pure, unadulterated joy. Haramaki Shima became the least comprehensible of anyone present. She ran to Yasunaga Aribe and hugged him. He hesitated for a moment but reciprocated. Meiko, still as clueless as ever, slowly walked over to us. Oni-chan? I'm sorry, hide behind Kiemi. Haruaki-san, what is this? I don't know. I really didn't. But I had a feeling that something wasn't quite right for a while now, and I suspected it'd be made clear now. I was certain of it, and it left me feeling uneasy. Okay, you have the initiative here. Can you explain? Taibat, you do it. Fine. I've been relying on you too much all this time. She wasn't even denying it. Chi-chan, Meiko-chan. Not me. This is something I never told you. A long time ago, when I was still a girl, Kamafuji Yoshi's people got drunk and revealed the truth behind the Feast of the Yomi Purge. The truth? Tai Yamawaka told us a story that was very similar to the legend they told in this strange village. But it was less like it was similar, and more like I was looking at it from an opposite angle. The part about the great Lord Shinai sending the 5 guardians to help people was the same. 4 of them then teamed up with the humans to murder the wolves. However, in the real story, the good and bad sides were completely reversed. Apparently, the people and the 4 guardians joined Yomi in the very first feast of the Yomi Purge. Basically, all of them were Yomi Bito. They all ganged up on, overpowered and expulsed the wolves who tried to resist until the very end. That meant this land had belonged to the Yomi Bito for a long time. The wolves were summoned here by none other than Shinai-sama himself. Some people of Yasumizu were given the blessing of the wolves and had to free Yasumizu from its Yomi Bito. Basically, it was a holy war for them. And that was the truth behind the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Tai Yamawaki continued her explanation.
At first we thought the people of Kamafuji Yoshi just made it up to make fun of us. But we found out it was true and we became blessed by Shinai-sama himself. So you see, Chi-chan, that's why we had to slay everyone. It hurt a lot though. Takumi suffered greatly too. But we had to do it to save the Omibito. That's what Shinai-sama said.
Tai Yamawaki was crying. Alright. So she was now a confirmed culprit who believed the murders to be salvation. There were just two more points I didn't understand. The corruption and the eerie message. Most things made sense if you switched Shinai-sama's enemies and allies. The idea that people wearing those outfits could be the good guys was kind of weird, but, well, that was the culture here. Or maybe only Yomibito, me too, saw them as evil? Maybe that was the story here. The problem here was that... I didn't know that. Chemi didn't know this. I only found out when I was blessed. Soon Yasunaga-kun didn't know about it. I remember some of his words. This is just something I heard from a teacher at school, but you could do it by giving them enough to fight for, couldn't you? Basically, you need to make them think that they're doing the right thing. He really hated lies, didn't he? He basically told me the truth of things. This feast actually had a system that made zealous murderers of people. Whatever, enough about Yasunaga Oribe. Then why did Haruchan know? She was glad when she realised Yasunaga Oribe was a wolf. Basically, she already knew the real story, that the wolves were the good guys. Why? Who told her?
The Okami-sama told me. They showed up in my dreams the day of Oji-chan died and told me about it.
Nonsense. Insanity. Did she seriously decide to throw her life away over a dream? But on the day Oji-chan died, he died the night before Haru-chan tried to run away from the settlement. She believed the dream. She started to despair over being surrounded by Yomibito and planned to escape. That made sense.
But I did think that Taiba would know the real story. There was no way she couldn't. But she didn't say it, so I thought that maybe she was a wolf. And I began to think the same thing about Nichan when we talked.
It all clicked. She believed. She believed the sudden revelation despite a lack of proof, and that the man she liked was in the minority that had justice on their side. And right now she said she would betray the humans and join the wolves. She believed Yasunaga Oribe was right with all her heart. And so, the wolf Yasunaga Oribe had 3 votes for the feast. I can't be killed even if Chieni and Meiko both vote for me. Even if you bend the rules and count Fuseshi-san's votes, it would still be 3. You couldn't choose one even if we did the final vote. And now, without either wolf dying, we win. It was easy. I saw it clearly now. I understood.
Haruaki-san, is he?
Yeah, Yasunaga-kun is right. No, we lose. Everyone had different reactions to my words. Chemi backed away and gasped. Tai Yamawaki closed her eyes and sighed. Meiko didn't seem to understand anything. Yasunaga Oribe didn't react at all. Haru Makishima was smiling. Oh man. All I really had left was struggling like the filthy, annoying adult I was. Haru-chan.
What? Oh, Nichan. What happened to Fuseshi-san?
I'll ignore him if he doesn't interfere.
I see.
Wasn't that relief just now? Sorry, but I couldn't enjoy my sudden jump in popularity.
We don't have to slay him?
Shinai-sama will do something if we need be. That dispassionate tone didn't do much to convince me he truly believed this ridiculous superstition. But you won't ignore this, will you? Who knows? Honestly, if you're the good guys, I don't know if I should help the Yomibito side.
Haruaki-san?
You're crueler than I thought. We city folk value a well-reasoned argument. I want to say I misjudged you. It's the right decision. Very right, in fact. Big words.
Hey, what the hell? You said I liked Chiene, didn't you? And now you're going to abandon her?
Good point. Well, yeah, I was pretty damn cold-blooded. I'm not too fond of being hit where it hurts, so I guess I'll respond. Haru-chan.
What?
You know you're going to die, right? You're okay with that?
Huh?
This was pretty damn bad, honestly. Apparently this great Lord Shinai was a huge scumbag. You should have told her that much. Even if you've been told the real story, you're still a human. You haven't become a wolf, have you? You didn't kill Takumi-san or Misato-san, right?
I didn't.
I don't know why, but you're just a human who knows the real story. That's why the human's defeat will mean your death. You said you thought Yasunaga-kun might have been the wolf when you talked together, right? I don't think he would ever let anything like that slip, so he probably realised your role from the way you were acting. He was probably trying to lead you by showing you hints, but not revealing his identity in order to test whether you join him. The wolves probably knew there was a human who had that role. What of it? He actually said that. This was the part where he's supposed to start lying. By not denying that, you basically admitted that you were an absolute scumbag who used Harry-chan knowing you'd have to kill her. He was that bad at lying? Then how did he survive so long? Wait. Something was very wrong. I'd seriously misunderstood something here. And soon enough, my hunch was proven right. Seriously? What of it? Harry-chan. Harry Makishima's voice was brimming with joy. A carefree smile, laced with seductive intoxication. Yomibito need to be hung. We're corrupt, filthy and disgusting. Alright, this is not fucking weird anyway. Jesus. We can only be saved by the wolves' whirls and claws. Everyone knows that. That's why you finished off Kari-san, right? You wanted to make your mother happy. Yeah. Exactly. Nii-chan made me happy too. Harry Makishima I can't say that. Cockish. I don't know what that word is. Coquettously leaned on him. Let's go with that. Yasunaga Oribe brought her closer without even a flicker of emotion crossing his face. Tai Yamawaki watched him with a broad smile. What? What the hell? What were these people? So, Chieni, what will you do? If you listen to me, I'll save you. I underestimated it. I underestimated the madness of Yasumizu, and I realized too late that the Feast of the Yomi Purge wasn't just a system where zealous murderers killed each other. There was something here that completely shattered the people in a fundamental level. It was like a gear of madness. Those who knew the real story found salvation in death. That insane tale instantly convinced people that it was right to agree and to find peace in that. And I was actually surrounded by those very people. Understanding that made me remember that she was from here too. Chen was trying to take a step forward. I should have realised this earlier. She who was afraid of God was just like them who accepted their salvation. Both brands of madness probably had roots in the exact same thing, so she was just as susceptible to madness as they were. However, it wasn't too late for her. Yasunaga Oribe's expression stayed the same, but right before I looked away from him, I saw a slight change. It was bitterness, irritation, something out of place on a victor's face. That made me realise that his plan for this scene wasn't lost to madness. Then I had no choice but to take advantage of the opportunity. I grabbed Chiemi's hand. I pulled with so much force that she fell on her backside, but I didn't care. I dashed past her and swung my weapon at Yasunaga Oribe. I hit Harry Makishima once, Tai Yamawaki twice, and Yasunaga Oribe 5 or 6 times. Then I ran to Chiemi and Meiko, who were completely dumbfounded and fled the hall. There was no time to waste. I had to hurry up and escape. If I didn't, I'd waste the one chance he'd given me. Haruaki-san, what are you doing? What's going on? Hey, Chiemi. What? Yasunaga-kun really has a good head on his shoulders, doesn't he? What are you talking about? Ah, my hand hurts, I'll fall. I was probably irritated, and not just because of the hunger. It was because of the epiphany I'd had, and because it had taken me so long to reach it. Yasunaga Oribe had a different motive. You have a crush on Chiemi Sawazawa, so you didn't want to hurt her, if no one else. So you used what little reason you still had to conclude that the only way to save her was through escape. Letting someone escape would be subjecting everyone else to the corruption. So you had to have me beat everyone and take her by force to avoid that shit. If he didn't intend to let me run away, he wouldn't have thrown away the sickle. He was basically signalling for me to understand and finally attack him. In the end, he was far more clever than me. Never stopped dancing to his tune. Regardless of... no. Exactly because of that, I had to help these two escape no matter what. After all, I'm an adult. Such a dumb fucking phrase. By the way, using an adult without relying on one yourself was a very adult thing to do, Yasunaga Oribe. Good luck with the rest. We crossed the field paths, went past the stone graves, and over the boundary. Descending the cliff took a lot of patience. It didn't seem like they were chasing us, so we couldn't go down carefully. Chemi's expression was dead. She'd been hit hard by some revelation. The game board had been flipped on her. She'd lost, and now she'd suddenly say goodbye to her old friends. It was hard to just laugh that off. Should I have told her about Yasunaga-kun's intentions? I did consider it, but I couldn't bring myself to. He chose to sail by sacrificing their relationship. If she knew, she'd probably want to go back to that settlement. Or maybe I just didn't want to say it because of my pride as a man. That was fine by me too. Being able to shrug off such unfairness was one of the blessings of adulthood. So I consoled Chiemi, shouted to Mako to be more careful, and generally talked as much as I could. The mist grew even denser. Hey Chiemi? I think we're already outside the village. Maybe. We did it, and look, nothing happens. We did it? Yep, now let's cross the river and return to the town. Where's the river? I couldn't see anything. My hand just lost my bearings. It was worse than that. I couldn't even see Chiemi or Mako's faces, and I was actually holding on the hands. We were already at the bottom of the cliff, walking on the stones below, and heard water, so it was clear that we were close to the river. But I didn't know if we could keep going right now. Let's rest. We can't. Chiemi. I thought she was going to freak out again, but... No, that's not it. She stopped me. Don't you hear it? Ignore the water. Confused, I strained my ears. What am I supposed to hear? Woof woof. They're coming after us. They were acting strange. I strained my ears again. Was it above us? I could hear the faint sound of rustling leaves from the top of the cliff. We gotta run. I'm tired. Haruaki-san, take Mako-chan. The intensity in Chiemi's voice made me take the situation seriously. What if the sound was just the wind though? Was she jumping at shadows? But I would have been lying if I said I wasn't worried. After all, a question remained unanswered, and according to the legend, this was their HQ. Wait, they were the good guys, right? Still, this wasn't a normal place. I had to get out of here ASAP. Something gonna happen? Are we gonna die? After a while I was forced to recognise the anomaly. We couldn't reach the river. I ran along the riverbed. It should have been small, just a few metres wide. But even after 10 minutes of running, there was no sight of the river. We couldn't get anywhere. It was just like ring wandering. A phenomenon where people wandering snowy peaks lose their sense of direction, just end up walking in circles. However, even if my sight was limited, how could anyone get lost in such a small riverbed? I could hear the stream right next to me. This felt so wrong. I was as good as blind. All I could trust were my ears, but that just made me realise how useless that was to rely on. I trust my sense of direction even less with every passing second. So, the sounds of parting grass in the distance, the sound of claws stepping on the rocks. I felt like they were getting closer. I couldn't be certain. Eventually we slowed down. The others didn't say anything, but they were clearly exhausted. We hadn't eaten for days. Not to mention the dense mist made our clothes all uncomfortably damp and cold. We walked along the riverbed without uttering a single word. The sound of water wasn't getting closer, but something else sure was. Something. Things I didn't know scared me. The chill and fear strangled me like a garrote as I carried Mako, passed out from exhaustion, on my back. How long had it been like this? Suddenly, the hand I was dragging became heavier. Chiemi had stopped. Haruaki-san. She called my name through the mist. What? I tried to sound light-hearted, but I wasn't confident I pulled it off. We're done for. Her voice suggested the image of a grim smile. What are you saying? Like before, I couldn't manage the defiant tone I'd used when she said something stupid. It was true that something unnatural was happening, and there was no simple explanation. And Chiemi was wearing down both physically and emotionally. Let's rest a bit. We'll get through this if we just go a bit farther. Don't worry. No, it's impossible. Why? I think you can't get past this river as long as I'm with you. What? That was like... You heard what they said. We're the Yomibito. So you're not worthy of crossing or something? I mean, I've been eating Yasumizu's food since I was a little girl. And I'm corrupted. Chiemi. Don't look at me. What the fuck's going on? Is her face like melting or something? I turned around and pulled her by the arm. I looked at her face from point blank rage. It was covered in brown and yellow blisters. Before I could even be surprised or disgusted, I just kissed her. The sugary taste of blood... Oh, God. Sugary taste of blood, pus, and rust filled my mouth, spread throughout my throat. I didn't care. Then, to discard all unnecessary emotions, I hugged her as hard as I could. My breathing and thoughts ceased. I kept up until the pain began to fade, then disappeared completely. Eventually, our lips were separated again. She prioritized words over breaths. I'm sorry. Even so, I hugged her tight. I couldn't lose her to something so ridiculous. She weakly hugged me back, but she couldn't keep it up for long. Let's go. I'm telling you, let's go. The presence in the distance was definitely closing in. We walked. I felt like I'd been walking for several hours now. Our pursuers were close by now. I had no intention of rushing. Cherry was slowly but surely getting weaker by the second. Her speed slackened with each step, and the weight on my arm was becoming heavier. I could hear her cough and vomit something out. She apologised every time she did, and I basically replied with "it's alright," using different words every time. We walked. Chemi's feet began to make wet sounds with every step. I'm going to hide this because this is a good thumbnail. Good thumbnail. Woo! We got a good thumbnail. We walked. Maybe we'd actually been here for only a few minutes. We walked. Chemi kept apologising. Maybe we haven't even moved a single meter. We walked. Maybe none of this was real. Then, maybe nothing that happened here would be weird. Eventually, Chemi called out at me with a hoarse voice. Haruaki-san. The fact that she said something different had sparked a moment of baseless hope. And so, thank you. Her gratitude was followed by another wet sound. I had fun. With those final words, her weight vanished. Oh God, it was strange. After all, I was still holding her hand. Or rather, only her hand. With a splash, her bodily fluids spread around, while her limbs and entrails just collapsed. Oh God, that's grim. Chemi was gone, leaving behind only her rotting hand. Perhaps her remains were piling up in the mist ahead. I had a strange certainty I couldn't touch it ever again. Was this what they called a Yomibito? I couldn't accept this, no matter what. I don't care what, just take a part of me outside. I put the hand in my jacket pocket. I took Mako, still sleeping, and shifted my grip to make carrying her easier. I continued walking for too long. Mako woke up. She was shocked that Chemi was gone and cried for a bit, but then she said she wanted to walk by herself, so I put her down on the ground. The very next moment she was dragged into the mist. It was clearly a malicious force that did that. To me it looked like a furry arm. A scream resounded. It was an inhuman animalistic scream. After hesitating for a moment, I turned to run and caught a glimpse of the something beastly within the mist Mako had disappeared into. I ran. And ran. Suddenly, I felt myself step into something wet. I had arrived at the river. It was meaningless. I lost everything. And in the end, only I survived. I don't care what, take a part of me outside. Was there any meaning in fulfilling that promise? No. The meaning was for me to find. That was why I had to survive and find the forest. Yeah. I still had that hope back then. They finally broke through the mist and showed themselves. Oh, of course. This really was hell, wasn't it? This wasn't the human realm of Nirvana. This was a river of hell, so of course both sides of it were going to be hell. There was no splash when we threw Takumi-san's body in, was there? The moment we went into the mist and down the cliff, our bodies vanished from this world and reached a place from which there was no return. And I finally had no choice but to accept it. As someone who had taken in the flesh and blood of Yomibito, Chemi, I couldn't escape either. That was why I screamed stupidly, only managing to run a few steps before their sinister claws tore me apart. Okay, yeah, cool, that's a good death. Yep, 10 out of 10. Great, damn it. Where had I gone wrong? Descending into the Saranaga? Not believing Chemi when she told me we couldn't escape? No, I went back even earlier than that. I already knew the answer. Ugh, shit. I really wish I'd been part of Yasumizu and participated in the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Maybe I could have gotten a different ending than this. I like the way it's like that upfront about it. That was the last thought that went through my mind before it all faded away. Yay, I'm dead. Great. Come on, fast forward our way through. Come on. Go on, keep going, because I know you're going to restart me. Because I know that we've got another route to do. Ah. That was Raging Loop. Not all of it, though. Wells and claws. I got a trophy at least, and a key! Okay. So, which route is that? Ending number 1, watch hint corner. Do you know what? I'm not going to. I am going to open the chart. Yep. 5th of the 11th of the 5th or whatever. So, where is it? Isn't the start? It is here, okay. Okie dokie. Suddenly, a rush of memories flitted into my mind. Remember the incident! Yay! Right, how do I forget? I'd already experienced this, the looping phenomenon or whatever. Hold on, looping? What the hell? There's no way something like that could. But if that wasn't it, what else could explain this? How else could I, someone who died once, be alive right now? I had clear memories of getting caught up in some strange incident at Yasumizu and, shit, I can't remember how it ended. It was like that last time too. My memories are all fragmented. But I do remember that I went to Yasumizu, met the people there, and died. And I come back here when, or because I died? That was a ridiculous idea. But the pain and fear I felt back then was just so vivid and fresh in my mind that I could simply dismiss it as just a dream or illusion. There was no point in lying to myself. I was here having experienced something that made me sure I died. It was an incomplete memory from the future. I had no idea why I had it, but I definitely did. I had to come to terms with it first and foremost. The gas tank wasn't empty, but my phone couldn't find a signal and was running out of battery. My throat was a bit dry, exactly like last time. That meant I was about to arrive at... Knew it. I really didn't want to meet that employee again, but from wide experience, she was the only one I met before going to Fujiyoshi, so avoiding her probably wasn't a great idea. Her attitude was shit, but at least she always did what I asked. Though, I didn't really want to drive down the unpaved road again. Once again, she greeted her customer in borderline insane way. Actually made me kind of relieved. I wanted to believe there was just some kind of trick of the mind. It was just like before. To her, I was just an annoying late-night customer. Oh well, I'd just be buying what I wanted. I'll take these. Why are you getting so much crap? No reason, Yasumizu was just desperately poor and it had me worried. What was her problem? I was a customer. With this much stuff, she had to use the register. Still grumbling, she started scanning the barcodes. Once she was done, I paid and asked, I want to get to the nearest settlement. Do you have the map I could look at? No, we don't. Please, I need it. Just wait. She went through the staff door. Found it. I knew it. This here's a store. Go north of the crossroads. You'll find no pass in enough. Cross it. When you come to a fork next to a giant boulder, turn right and head straight. Well, that's just a forest, isn't it? I knew that it was. There wasn't even a paved road there. Why'd she recommend the road anyway? If I crashed and died, I'd be homicide by negligence. And it's a settlement. It's just not on the map. That wasn't a lie. It wasn't weird for Yasumizu to not be on the map. It was nearly an abandoned settlement in the middle of nowhere. Why does she know about it? Does she live in Kamafujiyoshi or something? That sounds like it'd be bad for my bike. What about this place, Fujiyoshi? It's a 2-hour drive through a shitty mountain path. Can I write that down? Sure. Where's the other closest town? Past 2 mountains. Man, I couldn't make any sense of the local distance measurements. I don't recommend going wild around these parts at night. Oh? Actual consideration. Though it's hard to be grateful. She was the one who pointed me in the direction of that shitty road in the first place. Turning back takes courage too. Turning back, huh? I'll think about it, thank you. Thanks for coming or whatever. Oh, by the way, got any interesting local drinks? I didn't see any in the drink aisle. Well, then we don't have any. I just thought you might have something in the back. Like how we would. Could you at least check? Just wait. Found it. Seriously? She brought me a 500cc bowl with a black liquid inside. They all looked written on by hand and said Wild Plant Cola. I expected nothing, got something huge. This place was amazing. Oh, sorry, but I got quite a lot of stuff. Do you have a rubber rope I could hang my bike to hold on to it all? This ain't a hardware store. I'd be happy if you just looked. Just wait. Found it. Seriously? Well, since we've come this far, I have a list here. Think you can find any of it, have anything on it? What the hell? You got a death wish or something? Are you saying you'd kill me? Please, I just wanted you to have a look. Wait here. Thanks. We had it all. What the hell is this place? I felt like she was about to kill me, but I successfully came out with pretty much all I needed. I just made a run for it. I opened the weird plant cola. With a noisy light trap above, I took a sip. It was cool, intense, and had a strange grassy flavour. It wasn't too bad at all. I expected something totally gross, but it was actually a legit drink. Slightly disappointed, and that's all the ingredients. Cola and plant extract. Hold on, cola as an ingredient? Did they just buy cola and mix it in? And plant extract could be anything, from fruits to poisonous plants. What the hell? Was this even safe to drink? Well, at least it tasted good. It was probably smart to just turn around and drive away. Entering Fujiyoshi means death. Turn back. Perhaps that's what the loops were trying to tell me. Maybe I ought to listen. But was it really that easy? I had no real grounds for this. But if the cause of the strange phenomenon was somewhere in the village, perhaps I couldn't break out the loop until I solved the mystery behind it. What would happen if I left then? Would I just go on and live out the rest of my days only to die and come back here? Would I return to youth after years of being old? That part didn't sound half bad, actually. But was it really something I could just accept so easily? No, this was just speculation. What if I actually hadn't moved an inch from that mountain pass? Was everything from then, now, and until death just an ante-mortem fever dream? And dying again would just bring me back there? If that was how it was, everything I do with my life from this point onward would be meaningless. Maybe I really should move on only after taking care of whatever was binding me. Also, how can I leave something so strange, unnatural, and incomprehensible and just return to the city? I've got a lot of options here, haven't I? Let's have a look at the chart. So, we have got a lot of routes to choose. I'm just going to go in... I go the normal route, because it just feels like the best way to go. As I finished my drink and made my decision, I'd return there. I'd face that tragedy again. Of course, I was curious about this looping phenomenon, but I did recall what I thought during my final thoughts. It was something like, if only I handled this better. And for better or worse, this weird looping phenomenon had given me a chance to do just that. Funny words. If I went about it a bit better, perhaps I could get a better ending. Hisako Mamiya and Yudai Hashimoto. Kanzo Makishima, Yoshitsugu Uribe, and Takumi Muro. The Old Man Who Cried Wolf, Chikamuchi Kamoshida, Rikako Umetsu, Kari Uribe Kiyonosuke, oh my god, there's a lot of words. Helene Yasunaga, Uribe Tei Yamawaki, and Haru Makishima were just victims of some strange superstition. But I, Haruaki Fuseshi, could not delude myself. I was no hero, I had no powers and no convictions. I was just a dilettante. My only motivation here was a sense of perfectionism. I was annoyed at how many mistakes I made the first time around. Plus there was a certain attraction I felt towards the unknown. It was an urge foundational to my being. I'd been risking my life on its behalf. I wasn't about to pretend I was acting for the sake of others here. Although, Chiomi Serizawa, though she hated the childhood home, it remained part of who she was, and I wanted to keep that from being tarnished with blood. That motive was perverse, forceful, selfish, lustful, and filthy, and I couldn't let myself forget any of that. I remembered the names of those I'd met, and what I had to do. I turned the key, I opened the throttle, pushed the signal to the left, and connected to the clutch. Away I went, starting with a right turn. I'll find an overpass soon, whatever. I quickly came across it. I could clearly remember this overpass. The large boulder wasn't new to me either. But I wouldn't take the route this time. I just kept on driving, not lowering my speed for a moment. Full speed ahead. ... I drove on the winding mountain path. Strangely enough, my fatigue, though present, wasn't too bad and my head was perfectly clear. I knew which route to take without even looking at my copy of the map. Or maybe I'd driven through here before. Perhaps this wasn't the first time I made, but one of many. I couldn't be sure, and since my memories were so incomplete, nothing was certain. Still, there'd be an asset in the fight ahead. I wasn't going into this unarmed. I can no longer see the moon. If those memories held true, the rain would begin soon. You can see clear. There we go, end of the line. So I think this is where we have to end our recording and our session of it. You know what I mean, right? The end of upload streaming limit message to on, didn't you? This is it, meaning you can only upload videos reaching up to this chapter. Well, you can actually go up to the choice that pops after this, so prepare your goodbyes and stuff. Okay, cool. So, I drove in the darkness, but I could still make out a sign above me. The road wasn't wide, but I decelerated and somehow managed a U-turn. There were no other cars, so no one would complain. I returned and looked at the sign. It said that driving ahead would have led me to Kachihara, while by turning right, I'd find myself in Fujiyoshi. Finally. It was already past midnight, but actually earlier than I thought. A 30-minute drive from this point would lead me to Fujiyoshi, or rather Kamafujiyoshi, the place that wasn't too popular among Yasumizu's people. I am going to end this here because it's as far as we can go. So thank you all for watching and tuning in and enjoying the series. If you liked it, then I hope you leave a like in the section below. And if you want to see more of this, then do subscribe to the channel, as I do attempt to upload every day. I just don't have a fucking clue what we'll do next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.